Hi, friends from Five Reasons. Good night, especially after a great win by the Miami Heat, 106 to 101. 5 points was the difference. Like I said in our pregame show with Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, who are right now recording the podcast, the Five on the Floor podcast for tomorrow. Or I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna put it up right now. But what we're gonna do right here, we have all the press conferences. We have 6 of them uh, coming up right now. It's gonna be we're gonna go by. We're gonna start with Goran Dragic, of course, the Dragon, who scored 25 points today. He led Miami with those 25 points, 10 out of 19 in field goals, 3 out of 7 in 3-point attempts. So let's go and let's start with Goran Dragic and what he had to say about the Miami Heat win today at the bubble against the Boston Celtics.
So September 17th, 2017 was the greatest day in your basketball life.
Yep.
How's September 17th, 2020 feel?
It's feel exactly the same. Great day. A lot of my friends, they're texting me back and, congrats on this day. And, I had to go back and look at some highlights and, it brings a lot of good memories back. And, today I feel amazing.
To follow up quick, all year, the story about you guys has been the same. Some nights it's 2, some nights it's Duncan, some nights it's Jimmy, some nights it's Bam. Tonight it was by quarter, almost, like who was sort of leading the way. Is this when this team is at its best, when you just never know who the guy's going to be?
I think so. Nobody has an ego. We want to play together as a team, and you can show. You can see that. Duncan was huge first half. Making shots. Bam was huge too, and then we just tried to explore the mismatches and make the right play. Jimmy didn't feel it tonight, but he was tremendous in those last couple of minutes with those 2 huge steals, finish on the other end, and we know that each game is going to be somebody else.
Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome, Tim. Next question is Manny Navarro.
Hey, congratulations, Goran. I wanted to ask you about the third quarter, the dives that you guys were running with Bam to the rim, where he was getting those alley-oops. How much that opened things up for you guys in that third quarter?
It did open up a lot. Especially if we have a single side shot, especially with Duncan, they're not going to have so much from him. Then if you get to the middle of the paint, you have 3 options. You can finish the play. If the big guy steps up, you throw the lob, and if the corner guy sunks in, you have the wide open 3. So it's just a reading situation, and I feel like we did tonight amazing. Tyler giving a couple of lobs, me, and we're just playing the right way.
And then I wanted to ask you on the defensive end, going to that zone, just how effective it was. I think they averaged like 0.78 points per possession, which was not very good. Just why is that thing so effective for you guys?
I feel like we mastered that zone. We know that when you zone, you need to run more. And we communicate well. We shrink the floor and try to make tough on them. And, it basically, they're not running their stuff. It's more ISO and passing, and it's been a great coverage for us. I think Spo did an amazing job to change the coverage. But, Spo likes to do that, He switched it on the fly, on the sideline. He's like, go man-to-man or go zone or blitz, the pick and roll. Doesn't matter as long as we focus and everybody knows what we're doing.
Thank you.
Next question is David Wilson.
Hey, Goran. First, I want to follow up a little bit on what Manny was asking about the third quarter, the pick and roll stuff. Was that kind of something you guys made a concerted effort to do coming out of halftime? Was it something you guys just kind of saw was available?
At the halftime, we didn't panic and we didn't talk about the offense. If I'm honest, we talked about our defense. Our defense was terrible the first half. I think so. They had like 26 points in the paint or something like that, and it was just too easy for them. And our main concern was defense. And at halftime, we talked only about that. So, and then when you see that you get a couple of stops, it opens up in offense. And yeah, the dive series really We really explored that and make some great plays. And from there on, they went to zone 2 a couple of times.
And then Duncan, we were all kind of waiting on the Duncan game. He was saying, a lot of guys were kind of talking to him, just trying to keep him confident. Did you say anything to him over the last couple of days, or just kind of what were guys saying to him to keep him engaged?
Everybody's saying to him, shoot the ball. Don't pump fake, don't pass the ball. We want you to shoot, 10 threes a game. And that's his job. He's a tremendous shooter, and we want to give him a lot of confidence because we know what he brings to this team. And when he makes shots, he opens up the game for me, for Jimmy, for Bam, for everybody else, and it's much easier to play.
Next question, Dave Hyde.
Yeah. Hey, Goran, 95-95 game. You drove and got the blocking foul on Kemba Walker. Then you hit the 3-point. Then you have the 21-foot jumper. Was that a case of you looking for shots, or the game, sort of dictating your shots? Did you figure I need to?
At that moment, I want a shot because they switch on pick and rolls with ice, and we want to explore that. And I feel comfortable on the ball in my hands. And like I said, it depends how the game is going. If we see Jimmy's hot and he got a mismatch, we're gonna throw the ball to him. If we see some other situation like it was tonight, the ball gonna go to me, or some games to Tyler. So it all depends. How you feeling, how you shooting the ball, and how you making the plays.
Next question, Ellie Adams, Heat TV.
Hi, Goran. As one of the leaders on this team, how important is it for you to be vocal on the court, on the bench, and what are you kind of telling guys as we're getting into these really high-stake games?
First of all, it's simple. You need to give everything what you got, but at the same time, enjoy this game, be happy, have a smile on your face. I think so. That's the biggest reason that we play this game. Have fun, and we know that it's high stakes. It's the Eastern Conference Finals, and we all want to do good. But at the same time, our communication is the key. We don't shortcut. We tell straight to the face to our teammates or to coaches, and from there on, is no grudges. It's nothing personal. We just want to win those games and try to compete and play better.
Next question is Ferdinand Rivera.
Hey, Dry from Cabo, Puerto Rico. 6 players in double digits. There are no Egos, only a team that play great basketball. How do you see the chances of this team to beat Boston and go to the finals?
We have great chances, as long as we play together, like we already demonstrated in this bubble. We're not afraid of big moments, but at the same time, the ball is going from one guy to another, and everybody feels involved, and I think so that's our strength. Of course, our leader is Jimmy Butler. We follow him and Bam, and from there on, we just try to make the right play, and we have guys who are not afraid of big moments.
Next question, Robert Poderitos.
Hi, Goran. Congratulations on another great fight. Listen, you guys were behind after the first half, just like the first game almost. And what can you tell me? What went through your mind at the halftime, and how was the conversation? What was the conversation like in the locker room?
We know that we're not playing the best basketball that we can. Especially defensively, we are terrible, and they're making two. Basically every shot inside the paint, they drive and kick, and from there on they got to the middle and score on us from the layups. And I think so that was the key. That's why they have such advantage at halftime. And the only conversation that we had was about defense. That we need to be tougher on the ball. A weak side needs to be in and close out on the shooters. And when we do that as a team, as a whole unit, I think so then is where our game really thrives and get better.
Goran, do you have any message for Slovenian fans? They're staying up late tonight and watching you and cheering you up.
Thank you for all the support. through all my years. You guys are the best. Today's the day that we won gold medal for our national team, and thank you for all support. I hope we can bring the trophy back to Slovenia too. So,
Thank you.
Next question, Christos Desaltis.
Hello, Goran. Congratulations about this win. 2 questions. First of all, the way that you won tonight was a statement about the next games and especially about the finals for NBA, that you are a championship mentality team.
yeah, statement. We know that every game is going to be hard. We are 2-0, but it's not over yet. On the other side, it's a great basketball team. We need to be careful. They have great coach, great players, and every game counts. So we cannot relax and be satisfied with this 2-0 lead. We still need to get better and try to analyze those games and hopefully not to do so many mistakes next time.
And the second question is about your performance on fourth quarter and Bam's performance on third quarter. This team seems like they have a lot of players who can make a step up. Is this the key about your 10 wins and just one loss in the playoffs?
Yeah, the chemistry. I think so. The chemistry. Everybody's playing for each other. Nobody's selfish, and you can see if you check all these games, every game is going to be a different scorer or a different guy, and we trust each other, and I think so. That's the beauty of this game, and we feel comfortable with everybody who's making the plays, and from there on, we know that we are a good team. We already proven, but we're still hungry. We still want to do even better, to be more solid.
But our last question will be from Tab Deportes.
Hi, Goran. How you feel about the Tyler Herro performance in the series? He playing like more experienced player right now.
He's amazing. That kid, it's fascinating me at 20 years old or 21, what he does. He doesn't feel fear and he's confident. That's why we trust him. That's why he's making huge plays for us. And, he's still going to keep getting better. And like I said before, that kid's going to be a scary in this league. And, great kid, works hard, and you can see the results.
Thank you.
Thank you, G. Appreciate you, buddy.
That was Goran Dragic. After the 106.
Thank you.
101.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
By the Miami Heat tonight. We're going to go ahead and continue with our coverage here with Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo had 21 points, especially good in that second half when he came back and was one of the keys for the Miami Heat to get this win. He was 10 out of 16 from the field, especially in that second half. He was great. In the first half, he lacked that aggressiveness that we've all been asking for him to get more at, right? More aggressive and trying to get more points right under the basket. He also had 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, 1 block. So let's go and let's listen to what Bam Adebayo had to say today.
All right. You ready?
Get it started.
Mm-hmm.
Almost there. And we're going to share
Okay,
here
we'll
so
get
you guys
started.
can see him. And let's
Ira
go with
Winderman.
Bam Adebayo.
Shouting you out, Gabe, right here. So, go ahead, Ira.
Hey, Bam, this sort of reminds me of that seeding game against Boston where you sort of bided your time and then you just sort of took off, especially in the third quarter. I think you had like 7 dunks to 15 points there. Was there a point where you just sort of said to yourself, it's go time? Sort of what triggered that Bam Adebayo we saw in the third quarter and then in the second half?
Coach came up to me in the third and he was like, I need all the defensive team down. And from there, I had to start it on defense. And my offense started flowing with it. So, I give credit to Spell.
And then how much easier does it make it when a guy like Duncan is hitting outside early and really sort of opening the floor also? That sort of yin and yang there. Thank you.
It's just, me and Duncan kind of feed off each other, man. He gets early, he gets going early, and then they open up lanes for me. And if they crash, easy spray to dunk because he hot.
Tim Reynolds.
want that shirt.
But I mean, this has not been a 2-game thing. You guys have had an ability to come back all year. Have you figured it out if there is something about this that just leads to the opportunity?
We got grit. That's about all I can tell you. We got grit, man. You know, I'm happy to be on this team with these guys because, you know, everybody in here has a different story. But we all come from nothing, and that's what's beautiful about this team, man. We put guys that came from nothing together, and they have a vision, and we're just trying to foresee that vision. But yeah, but we don't want to keep doing that. That is not our goal to keep being down 12 or 13 points. Yet, even worse, like we don't want to do that.
Rebecca Harlow.
Yeah, two-part question for you here, but is this what you expected? This team has come out. You guys have gone 10-1. You've been the most successful team in the playoffs here in the bubble so far. And on top of that, describe the confidence that there is on this team when you can come out and have a third quarter the way that you did, and then the way Butler can step up in the way that he did late, or Duncan or Tyler, or it goes on and on and on with who can come up with big plays.
That's the thing about this team, man. You never know who's gonna have a good night. Going into that second half, everybody thought I was checked out. Except for the people in our circle and on our staff and on our team. They just keep telling me like, it's go time. Turn that switch on, and I turned that switch on in the second half.
And then just to follow up on that, with your team being 10-1, is this what you expected?
To win?
Just to be where you are, the success that you've had coming into these playoffs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We didn't come into this playoffs just to say we got there and then, it's that. We came into these playoffs trying to win a championship, and that's the main goal, like the main thing. Everybody wants to win a championship. We keep stacking these wins, and hopefully we get to that. We'll get to that point. But right now, 2-0, we gotta keep stacking these W's.
Anthony Chang.
Hey Bam, I know you guys have been on Jimmy, especially you, to be more aggressive offensively at some points in the season. But tonight he made an impact without scoring much. What is it about him where he doesn't need to shoot the ball, he doesn't need to score the ball, and he can still have an impact down the stretch like he did tonight?
We all trust each other. I was having a rough first half, and I'm in my head on thinking about other things, and my teammates kept talking to me. So you just gotta have trust in each other, and I feel like Jimmy has trust in us to make plays and do our thing, and he knows when he got to get in that mode, and he did that without scoring tonight, and he knew that. He did it with defense.
Mark Spears.
And he plays his rock and clean up the goal. What is the foul? That's who we do anything. We got to finish the job. That's bottom line. We got a good balance of players. So you got young players, they're eager who are happy to be up 2-0, and then you got the veterans who've been up 2-0, and a team has came back. So we got a good balance of guys and experience to shut that water off and just focus on every game.
Will Mansell.
Bam, you kind of touch. Hey,
hold on, okay. The environment, which not going to at that point, that's when competitive nature comes out. You don't got the crowd, you don't got a lot of family, and you got your team. So your team brings that energy, you bring that energy, and that's how we chipping these wins, man. I feel like I said it from the beginning, and I feel like the Miami Heat are built for the bubble.
Will Mansell.
There you go.
Hey, Bam, there were a couple. How are you, man? There was a couple moments where it seemed like you either got tripped or kicked or pushed while you were trying to get away from a defender. Did you sense that? Are things getting a little extra chippy there? Was that just the spirit of competition, or did you notice some moments where things were a little chippy, I guess?
That's just competition. At the end of the day, nobody's going. Well, I feel like nobody should be able to, push you over or do something and get away with it. But no, that's just bringing the competition out of everybody. It might get a little chippy in the game. You feed off of that type of energy.
Cooper Moorhead.
Hey, Bam, zone is nothing new for this group, but obviously worked incredibly well tonight, especially in the third quarter. How is it affecting Boston, and what is it about the zone that's working so well in this series so far?
I feel like the zone is just giving us active hands. Everybody's on a string, and that's what the thing. And the thing about zone, you got to communicate, and that's what we love about zone. It makes us communicate, and we was getting our job done.
Wes Lammy.
Bam, just to follow up, you mentioned you don't like being down double figures, but obviously the pick and roll is benefiting you tremendously tonight in that third period. What is it like, obviously, when you're able to chip away in that double figure lead, though, to get you guys back in it?
It's one of those things, man. You have to look at each other and be like, look, we can't go out like this. I refuse to, just let a lead, somebody just take the lead. I'm going to fight to the end. And we kept fighting, and we crawled back. And then, once we got that next energy and that spark, it just went up from there.
And our last question, Brandy from Heat TV.
Hey, Bam, Duncan had 6 solid three-pointers tonight, and his journey to the NBA has been unconventional, coming from a D3 school, and he's been able to contribute in big ways, not in this season, not just in the bubble. Did you expect such big things from Robinson when you guys first acquired him?
I did, because I was on Duncan's summer league team when he first got here. And Duncan then isn't the same Duncan now, obviously. But just seeing how hard he worked, I always share his story. But when he first got here and we were warming up for games, Duncan would be sitting on the sideline with Chris Quinn, and then Chris Quinn would just have a ball, and he'll just get up, run out. He'd be like, "All right, shoot threes." And if he would miss, he would sit down. So it was kind of like him getting yanked for missing a shot, and constantly doing that. And now you see the type of player he is now. He's not scared of the moment. He makes those type of big shots, and we want him to keep shooting.
Bam, thank you for your time, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Bam Adebayo. He had, let me go back to his stat line, 21 points today. He was the second best scorer. Let me turn off the lights here so you guys can see me. I'm a little dark. We have a lot of messages here complaining about the ESPN coverage. Don't worry, we got you guys. We're here for you for the Miami Heat coverage that you guys need. So let's go now with Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson was the third best scorer today. He was 6 out of 12 from field goal, from threes. Of course, we know that he loves just going for his threes. So let's go and listen to what he had to say today right after beating the Boston Celtics 106-101 in the second game of the Eastern Conference Finals. Here we go.
Question is going to be David Wilson.
Hey, Duncan. You pretty much always say you're usually happy with the shots you get. It's just a matter of whether you make them or not tonight. Was it really that simple for you today?
Yeah. I think a big part of it was just kind of my disposition on offense, being more aggressive.
Yeah, Duncan.
That was a conversation that I had with a lot of different guys on the team and also coaches, just about
shoot the ball,
about doing that. It's good to see a couple go early, obviously, but you can't always control that. So I just thought I was a little bit more persistent about getting my spots and letting it fly.
Was that really something you were getting like over the last 48 hours or whatever? Just a lot of people being like trying to give you that confidence.
Yeah, I was hearing it from all different directions, which obviously that's every player's dream to be pleaded to shoot. So I just try to listen to them and let it fly.
Next question, Manny Navarro.
Hey Duncan, congrats on the win and the performance. Reports out of Boston's locker room, there's a lot of yelling going on post game. I'm wondering how much of that went on at halftime with you guys. I know you guys are always yelling at each other when things aren't going right. Wonder what it was like at halftime for
None.
you guys.
We definitely had some direct, forceful conversation. It wasn't necessarily like emotional as in bad, but obviously, you're in a battle like this. Winning comes with emotion, or trying to win comes with emotion. So we really just tried to be direct as possible, us amongst players, and then obviously, spoke to us as well about what we needed to adjust. And really, a lot of it just came down to playing more to our identity. We feel like we got away from that in the first half.
And then I wanted to ask you just about the zone defense. You guys were pretty effective against them with it in the second half. You've run it all year. What is it that makes it so tough for other teams to score on you guys when you go to that?
It's a different look. A lot of teams aren't used to it. Not a lot of NBA teams play it. And then also kind of do it in an unorthodox way. We put our length up top and just really try to be disruptive. So we play it as a disruptive defense to try to disrupt flow and rhythm and that sort of thing. And, tonight it worked, so we kept running with it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is Jeff Zilgett, USA Today.
Duncan, you had mentioned that, shots went in early and then didn't go in the second half or in the second quarter. What happened there in the third quarter to get all the offense working the way you guys wanted to?
Really just play to our strengths, read the game, understand what they were trying to do defensively, take away certain things, and just adjust. You get in games like this, and it really just comes down to adjustments. Teams are going to try to take certain things away, and it's how can you adapt. So, and then also on top of that, it's guys making plays a lot of time. Tyler, Goran, Bam had a huge third quarter for us, just putting pressure on the rim. So that's big.
And just real quick on Bam, how much did that help the 3-point shooting?
Oh, he's huge. His unselfishness, his ability to put pressure on the rim and collapse defenses just as a lob threat just opens up so much. So it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, as in we try to pull people away from the paint. And then once we get a couple lobs, then they collapse, and then there's open three. So that's kind of what we've been doing all year. And it was kind of really going there in the third quarter.
Next question is Tab Deportes.
Hi, from Puerto Rico. Congratulations for the win. And how you feel to be important part in the rotation team at final conference early in your career?
It's humbling, truthfully. Just to be a part of this group and trying to help this team win. This is a storied franchise with a lot of tradition, and just to be a part of it in any capacity is really special. So I certainly don't take it for granted. I just try to go out and do my job every night to the best of my ability and just help us win.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from Live Basketball.
Hey, Duncan, congrats on a win. And I want to ask you about your confidence on the 3-point shots. I mean, last game you weren't there, and today you were like hitting great clutch shots. How was that?
It's always nice to make go in, but for me, it's really about focusing on taking the right shots and being aggressive. And when I do that, I try my hardest to let go of the result and just focus on doing all the things that lead up to the ball and whether or not it goes in or not. So sometimes you can't always control that. And tonight I was able to see some go, which is always nice. But game 3 will be a completely different game. But I still got to bring the same disposition, the same approach, and still be aggressive.
And how about Tyler Herro? I mean, you guys were like closing out the games, and you had like great confidence shooting the ball. He also was hitting great shots, and Goran find you guys. And again, today you guys could come at the end of the game and close this game. How important is that for you going to game 3 now?
It's huge. Tyler's been big for us all year, especially since we've been in Orlando. He shows a certain level of poise that's well beyond his years. So this is an incredible experience for really both of us to be in these meaningful games and try to help us win.
Thank you.
Next question, Ellie Adams, Heat TV.
Hey, Duncan. Looking back on your journey on what it took for you to get to the NBA, and now you're in your second year playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. How does that feel, just looking back on, everything you had to go through to get to this moment?
Yeah, it's humbling in a lot of ways. I try to keep everything in perspective. Sometimes it can be a challenge when you're just kind of always focused on what's next, the next task, and trying to perform to the best of your abilities. But I try to stay grounded just in the people that are closest to me, my family, my closest friends, and people that mean a lot to me that have been there with me, from the very beginning. So it's special to share with those guys, even though they're not here in Orlando. But I'm sure after every game, whether we win, whether we lose, whether I play well or not, they're always there. They're always texting me. They're always calling me. They're always checking in. So that's the most special part of it for me.
Next question is Naveen Ganglani.
Hi, Duncan. Congratulations on the win. You guys were down 14 heading into the fourth quarter of game one and down 17 here in game two. Can you take us through some of the conversations you guys have in those huddles when you're about to try to make a rally to get back in the game? Or is it a little more you guys just know inside what you have to do?
Yeah, first of all, just playing to our identity. We feel like we got away from that in the first half, and that's why they were able to really push that lead out. And then also just chipping away, understanding that we're a really good team and we're capable of making runs and making shots and getting stops. So it was only a matter of time until those runs came. And, we had a great third quarter. Just tried to carry that momentum into the fourth.
All right, Duncan. And let's go to the last one here is Christos Tsaltas.
Hello, Duncan. Congratulations about this win. I would like to ask you, after the game one and the quick fouls that you made on first quarter, did you feel more responsible tonight to make a step up and make a great performance on offense?
Yeah, I was disappointed in kind of the lack of discipline in game one, and I really wanted to kind of assert myself in game two and carry just like a certain level of aggressiveness in my approach, and I thought I was able to do that in stretches. Credit to my teammates; they put me in a lot of situations to be successful. So, it's got to be an every game thing for me. It can't be floating in and out, but instead, I got to come with that same approach every game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dunk.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
All right, that was Duncan Robinson, who scored. Let me come back to it. He had total 18 points, 6 out of 12 from three. So he was, of course, a great part of the team, especially early in the game. And with all those points, he kept the Miami Heat some sort of close to the Boston Celtics in that part of the game. Let's go now with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had 14 points, and he says Duncan Robinson's voice is deeper than what he thought. And then let's go here. We got shooters. Yes, we do. Okay, let's go with Jimmy Butler. He had 14 points, 4 out of 11 from field goal. Perfect from the line, 6 out of 6, 6 for 6. How many rebounds? 7 rebounds. No, 4 rebounds total. No. Yes, total 1 offensive, 3 defensive. But he had a couple of key plays, especially on defense, but one that turned defense into offense late in the game. And let's listen to what he had to say about the team and about this very important win, which is game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics.
I don't know.
Jimmy, you all set?
Thank you, Chad.
Yo. Okay, let's get started. Rebecca Harlow. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Hey, Jimmy, congrats on the win here tonight. But, I was just talking to Spo. I asked him about putting the ball in your hands in the fourth quarter, how you were able to create, how Goran still hit some big shots. He said you guys are basically positionless at this point. But what is it that you love so much about having the ball in your hand late, the way that you were able to impact the game late tonight?
I just think it's the way that we work on that every day in practice, and we've been working on it all year long. We've got comfortable with Goran having it, with Bam having it.
Herro having the ball, and myself. So I think we're all comfortable in that position, and we like whatever we get out of that.
And just to follow up on that, to your point, you're saying that the ball can be in any number of guys' hands. Where is the confidence level of this team right now?
It's high. We believe in one another. We know what we're capable of. And I think that's the part that's so fun when we're out there hooping. We get down at times, but we never hang our heads because we know if we play the right way, we give ourselves a chance to win. So with these group of guys, man, it's always smiles out there on the court.
Jeff Zilgit.
Thanks, Jimmy.
What the reason for your victory was tonight? What were the things that went into it, especially given you're down 17 and ball's not going in and Boston's pretty much getting what they want?
Goran, Bam, Jay, Tyler, DJ came in and played some big minutes. We just never gave up. We started guarding the way that we're capable of. Rebounding the basketball always helps to make shots, don't get me wrong. But I think all in all, we didn't give up.
Dan Wojcicki.
Sorry. You guys are down 17 at that point, and I think it's a 4-0 run only in the last minute. But it seemed like that was a big stretch for you guys to get 3 or 4 stops in a row. Did you feel like that little tiny stretch helped settle things down a little bit?
Definitely. They got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the basket and get into that paint, and then you're spraying it out to their shooters. I think we just finally decided to make multiple efforts, get our body in front of them, and then close out. In this league against this team, you got to be able to do some difficult things. We weren't doing it at first. We started to do it, and it turned out well for us.
Nick Friedel.
You guys have all talked about the culture and what it's meant to the group. Do you think that kind of culture can be taught over time when you come to a team, or do you think the kind of mental toughness that you guys have has to come from within each individual guy?
I think Coach Pat is supposed to do a good job of picking those guys, so they already got it. Somehow, some way, they already know the guys that are going to fit in here. And to tell you the truth, to fit in here, you just gotta care about winning. That's the number one thing. Try to win in that championship, and we got a group of guys that want that night in and night out every single day. There's only one goal in our mind, and that's to win it.
Anthony Chang.
Hey, Jimmy, I know you guys have run zone throughout in different spots throughout the season, but how do you think it worked tonight against Boston, especially in that third quarter?
It was great. We got what we wanted to get out of it. They'll go and they'll study it and come back better, but we'll make adjustments as well. I think we're really good in that zone because we have guys that have long arms and can get in the passing lane. I think we just got to do a better job of rebounding.
Mark, sorry, go ahead.
I know a lot of it comes down to what happens on the court, but you've played for a lot of different coaches. What makes Eric Spoelstra so good in these playoff situations, where he's able to make in-game adjustments like that, and for it to results to come back so quickly?
To tell you the truth, he trusts his players, everybody out there on the floor. And as much as he's commanding us on what to do, he's always asking, what do you see? Whenever you have a coach like that, he knows that we may see the game differently than he may see the game. It helps. So he puts a lot of trust in us to let us go out there and play basketball the way that we think we should play it. But he just works. He studies the game, makes everybody feel comfortable, man. And hell, I'm glad he's my coach.
Mark Schwartz.
Jimmy, you made 3 defensive plays in the final 3 minutes tonight that were really complex athletic plays in keeping your body in bounds on a couple of them, throwing the behind-the-back pass. Tell me about the mindset that goes into being in the right spot, first of all, and then being able to finish the play rather than just break it up temporarily.
I think Spo was always preaching to me to just impact winning. Every single day, every time we talk, every time we speak, it's how are you going to impact winning tonight? And I think I did that on the defensive end. I think Goran and everybody else did that on the offensive end. But my job tonight was to guard, play those passing lanes, keep the energy level high, do what I can to help win. So, make a play on the ball, keep the ball in bounds, and my teammates will handle the rest.
Brendan Tobin.
Jimmy, you guys have talked about always wanting that elusive perfect 48 minutes, but you have gotten very good at building your way out of these holes. What is the mood like on the team? I know you guys aren't afraid to call each other out. What is the communication like when you aren't playing up to par and feeling like you got to climb out of it and get it right?
We look each other in the eye and we tell each other when we're on some BS. Spo's going to do it. I'm going to do it. Jay's going to do it. Tyler's going to do it. Duncan's going to do it all the way down the line because it's unacceptable. We know whenever we're not playing the way that we're supposed to be playing. And as bad as it sounds, it's like a switch. It just turns on us. Oh, there we go right there. So I'm telling you, straight-faced communication, move on and get it done.
Clay Ferraro.
Hey, Jimmy, I know you talk about him all the time, and you've talked about him tonight, but what more can you say about Goran?
He's a winner, man. That's my guy. Zoki and Gogi, to the day that the world ends. That's me and him. It's our nickname together. And I'm glad that he's on my team. He's so smart, doesn't care about stats. He just wants to win. I think everybody overlooks that. But he's huge, and he has been all year. And making sure that everybody's in the right place, everybody's comfortable, everybody has the most confidence that they can play with on the floor. And he's our leader. He is.
Tim Reynolds.
He knows what makes him tick, what makes him go. He knows why he's playing the game. Spo always says, "What's your why?" He gets it. He understands. He knows that we need him to play at an extremely high level in order for us to be successful. He's an all-star, all-defensive player. He's everything for us, to us. And for him to know, like, okay, I got to do this, that's why he's another one of them.
Mark Spears.
What's my why? My people. I'm here sacrificing what I'm sacrificing for my family. We're gonna bring them a championship. That's my why.
Mark Spears.
Now you're not underdogs no more. Your people believe. How do you guys keep that with this 2-0 lead? And what's the mentality now?
We haven't done anything. We haven't. We can't get excited that we're up 2-0 because as good as it is to be 2-0, it could easily be 4-2 Boston. So we're going to come into it the same way, knowing that we got to be better and stay humble about it. Not getting too high. Obviously, not going to be too low, but we're going to stay in the middle and keep playing basketball the way we're supposed to be playing.
When did you realize when you picked Miami that they had this keep it real mentality that you like?
I knew it beforehand. I knew it. I'm watching film of these guys, seeing where these guys are coming from, and I'm like, yo, look, they like me in a lot of ways, which is good because I know how I would talk to myself, so I know how I can talk to them. I know what I would expect out of myself, so I know what I can expect out of them. And they're just some good dudes. They just want to win, man, and I'm here for that.
Wes Lammy.
Jimmy, you talk about obviously just having fun with this group and you guys love playing the game of basketball, but that defensive impact, obviously, with the last moments of the game winding down, how much fun is that on that end of the game?
That's what it's about. That's what wins championship. Defense does that. Bam played great defense tonight as well. DJ came in and did that. He was, taking charges, getting on the floor for loose balls. That's how we're going to win. We have to make it a tougher game. We're going to have to get it out of the mud, as we say, because on a talent level, I think Boston has that edge.
Brandy from Heat TV.
Hey, Jimmy, in the second quarter, you guys played a little flat, but in the third quarter, ignited and outscored Celtics 37-17. What was said during the half to get the team going?
You didn't have to say anything. We already knew. So, coach didn't come in there yelling. Just came in and was like, hey, guys, glad we watched the film, but there's nothing to say. We know it. You know it. Let's go out and act on it. So we decided to go play some defense.
Jimmy, thank you for your time, sir. Have a nice evening.
All right, that was Jimmy Butler. Let's do this again. We are back with the 5 reasons Miami Heat coverage here. Great that they won. They're up 2-0 against the Boston Celtics. Thank you for all your messages. We're going to keep going here. We have 2 more. We have Tyler Herro, and then we have Eric Spoelstra to finish it up after this Miami Heat 106-101 win against the Celtics. Let's go with Tyler Herro. He had 11 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and he was 4 out of 12 from field goal. He was key in a lot of the moments of the game. Let's go with Tyler Herro, our youngster superstar here in South Florida. Let's see what he had to say after the game.
All right. Questions for Mr. Herro. First one's going to be David Wilson.
Hey, Tyler. I want to start with that third quarter. You guys started doing a lot of pick and roll with Bam, getting him a lot of dunks. Something kind of going into the third quarter, you kind of knew that was going to be the game plan, or was it something you saw develop once you guys kind of get out on the court?
I think coming into the third quarter, we just wanted to pick up our energy and just make them feel us on the defensive end. And, offense, that's going to go and that's going to click eventually as long as we have our defense in order. Just really focus on that. And defense always leads the offense for us. And it was just kind of in the flow of things. But, Bam played huge for us again tonight, rolling to the basket, catching lobs, getting rebounds. He's everywhere for us.
All right, next question, Ellie Adams, Heat TV.
Hey, Tyler. When you get on the floor coming off the bench, you're able to bring this energy to the offense. What goes through your mind as you're going in? What's your mentality going in?
Just come in and be that spark off the bench. We have an amazing starting 5, and just being the first one off the bench.
Marcelo, pode falar essa pergunta, Marcelo.
Just coming in and making them feel me and just trying to be that spark off the bench, whether it's offense, defense, whatever the team needs, we're going to try to go out there and just be that spark.
Next question is from Live Basketball.
Hey Tyler, how are you? How about your defense on the third quarter? You guys were like defense on like zone, and you guys have to change after the game. And how was that after the halftime?
It was a good adjustment for us. We just wanted to throw a different look at them. They were carving us up when we were playing man to man. Coach made an adjustment at half, and we kind of went with it. And we just made them feel us.
And how about that? Like the last plays, because you guys were like down the first quarter, make a great comeback in the second quarter, and then you guys came out and closed the game. It's a huge. There was a big difference, and you guys could close in this game.
Hola, Tocaya. Saludos.
Just that closing group in that fourth quarter really locked in, and I think the third quarter we played really well on the defensive end, and like I said before, defense always leads the offense for us.
Thank you.
All right, next question, Christos DeSaltis.
Hello, Tyler. Congratulations about this win. What did you change after the first half that you allowed 60 points, and on the second half you allowed just 41? What did you change about your adjustment on defense, and also what Coach Spoelstra told you in the locker room?
We just knew that in the first half that wasn't who we are as a team. We don't give up 60. I don't know what it was, but we don't give up 60 plus in the first half, really any half. And we made that adjustment at halftime that we're going to come out and play our game, which is make them feel us on our defensive end, and just get into them, make them feel us. They were carving us up, getting into the lane, and that really hurt us in the first half. So just trying to keep them out of the lane and making them shoot over us and make tough twos.
And also about the game 3, it seems very, very crucial for Boston Celtics because you are up 2-0. How important is to make the third straight win and to make a clear message about the next games?
Yeah, the next game is our most important game. These 2 games that we won are in the past. We're gonna enjoy this one tonight, but our next game and our next thing to focus on is obviously game 3, and that's the biggest game for us. And lock in. Hopefully, we can play a full 48 minutes instead of just trying to lock in the second half. We can make them feel us for the whole 48 minutes of the game.
Next question is Manny Navarro.
Hey, Tyler, congrats on the win. It's a couple games now in a row where the rebound numbers for you are pretty high. You had 9 again tonight. I know you fancy yourself more than a shooter and scorer, but just the importance of that, man. And maybe did you know coming into the series you were going to have to do a lot more rebounding?
There's times where we're switching, and I'm the guy down low. And like I said before, whatever the team needs me to do, I'm going to do it. It's rebound, make plays, shoot balls, whatever it is, I'm going to do it for us. And at the end of the day, it's all about winning. So that's all we're worried about as a team.
Then I wanted to ask you about Goran. I know he's leading the team in scoring in the playoffs. It feels like Jimmy gets a ton of attention, Bam does, but it feels like Goran, he's been Mr. Consistent as far as getting points and hitting big shots for you guys. Can you just talk about what his role has been, man?
Yeah, he's been tremendous for us on both ends, I think. Offensively, he's doing what he does. It's my first year playing with him, but he's playing at a high level. I'm learning so much from him, and I love to be out there with him. He's making plays for us, making tough shots, just playing consistent, and that's what we need out of him.
Thanks.
Last question is from Ferdinand Rivera.
Hey, Tyler. First playoff, and you are 6 wins away from being a champion. How do you describe this season with Miami?
Just trying to worry about the next game. Obviously, we know there's 6 left, but just taking it one game at a time. Anything can happen. We're just trying to lock in right now on this next game, and it's been a great season for us so far. But we have one goal in mind. That's a championship.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rook.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Tyler Herro after the Miami Heat win 106 to 101, and we're gonna finish this with Erik Spoelstra, who, by the way, became the 8th coach. Here's the list in coaching wins in the playoffs. He passed George Karl and Lenny Wilkins, who had 80, and Erik Spoelstra has 81 now. Casey Jones and Doc Rivers are his next targets, and he can tie them on Saturday whenever when the Heat plays the Boston Celtics again. So Erik Spoelstra gets up to the 8th place in coaching wins in the playoffs, and now we're going to listen to what he had to say after the Miami Heat won Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's have it set up here, and we're going to finish up our coverage for today with these words from Coach Spoelstra.
All right, we'll get started. First question.
Thank you guys for being
Tim
here
Reynolds.
with us, and hopefully we can see you soon with our coverage here.
Well, you get to this level in the conference finals, it's not going to be easy for either team, and it wasn't. Both teams are laying it all on the line. That's the way it should be.
Bam's 3rd and Goran's 4th. Again, we've been saying all year with your group, it doesn't have to be Jim. It doesn't have to be this guy. It can be multiple guys at various times in the game. Just how luxurious is that right now?
Boston was really getting us on our heels in the first half, and I don't think anybody was in any kind of rhythm or disposition defensively. And a lot of it was them. They were backing us up and everything. So I think Bam, really set the tone in that second half, along with Jay. And then our reserves came in and really gave us a boost defensively. That just took some of the pressure off of our offense. But Bam,
was really assertive in the pick and roll. And that kind of loosened up some things, for us. But, games are long, and you just have to figure out different ways to impact winning. And Bam he understands that. And Goran, their defense is really good. It's really good. They can flatten you out. And sometimes that's what is needed, for some games. You just have to create something out of nothing. And Goran was able to do that down the stretch.
Ira Winderman.
Eric, the return of the zone defense and staying with it even when there were some rough spots. Was that something you tweaked along the way, or is it the usual, just do it better, and you guys did it better?
I don't know. I have to look at the first half. There wasn't much that we liked about what we were doing defensively, man or zone. I know everybody wants to talk about a scheme. For us, it's disposition, it's effort. Making tough plays, making multiple efforts, regardless of the scheme, and we were more committed there in the second half.
And then Duncan's play today, and again, you always tell us, you just know, keep shooting, it'll come around. One, how heartening it was to see the start he had to lift not only his confidence, but the entire team's confidence.
Yeah, and his routes were very assertive. So whether he's making shots or whether they're chasing him off, that's critical to our offense, and it opens up other things. It gives us a little bit more variety to our menu. Yeah, he was much more aggressive without the ball. He was burning more calories for sure.
Rebecca Harlow.
Coach, yeah, Jimmy Butler was bringing the ball up the floor a lot in the fourth quarter there. Not only was he creating for himself, but Goran still hit some big shots. What did you like about putting the ball in Jimmy's hand late in this game?
Well, he's been effectively our point guard all year long. When Goran's coming off the bench with that starting unit, Jimmy had been our point guard or point forward or point two, whatever, it's none of the positions really matter anymore. But ball's going to be in his hands one way or another, or it's not going to be in his hands. It's going to be some kind of action with Goran. We're not giving up any trade secrets here. We know that. They know that. And your guys have to make plays. Jimmy only had 14 points, but boy, was he impactful. Obviously those that steal at the end and the deflection. There's just not many guys in this association that can make each of those plays at the top of the zone and then at the back of the zone. Just great plays.
Mark Spears.
Talk about just your thoughts at halftime and then what Bam did to spark you guys in the third quarter.
We were all disappointed. But again, you get to the conference finals, it's not all about you. Boston had a lot to say about how that first half was going. I'd love to say it was just us and us going through the motions or anything. No, that was them putting us on our heels. And then, we started to attack the game a little bit more in the second half and get control of it.
Anthony Chang.
So there were some rotation tweaks in the second half. What did you like about what Derek gave you there in his 9 minutes in the second half?
Yeah, he stays ready. You just never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. We've already seen it, so far. Things happen, foul trouble, minor injuries, and Dre wasn't able to go in the second half. And Derek has been keeping himself ready. He knew that he was going to be utilized, at some point, and he kept himself ready and gave us really good, active, energized minutes. I think that inspired some other guys as well.
What was it? The ankle for Andre again, or something else?
No, just a tight back.
Thank you.
Will Manso.
Spo, I know what you're saying about, two tough teams, and this is the way these games are, but you're 10-1 in these playoffs, and your team somehow finds a way. What is it about this team? You're down 17, you're down 13 at the half. All these games, no matter how they play out, you find a way to win, it seems.
I don't know if you can point to games in other series and see that there's a trend. Each game is different in the playoffs. Each series is certainly different. This, just the feel and complexion and the competition of this series is much different than our last series. So we can't even compare that. But this team, yes, we the guys have grit. But you also have to do things, well, and you got to make some shots at the end and get some stops, and we were able to do that tonight.
Nick Friedel.
Bo, to follow up on that quickly, you've said all along how much respect your group has to have and it has for Boston. But where do you think the mental toughness comes from your group day to day, game to game?
Yeah, I don't know. Our guys have shared values about competition, and there's a respectful, competitive humility about how tough it is in this league, and how much toughness you need to bring, on each and every given night. That's probably all I have to say on that.
Dan Wojcicki.
I know you said obviously everybody was disappointed at halftime, but you guys had, I think, maybe a 2-minute stretch right before the end of the half where Jimmy got to come up.
Yeah, that was an important stretch.
And there was this Boston had a chance to score, and you guys got to stop right before the end of the half.
Yeah.
That seemed like it maybe propelled you guys a little.
Well, we felt a little bit better. It felt like they were down 30. And then we looked up and it was like 13. I was like, okay, well, let's see if we can get control of this game. I mean, that's how well they were playing. And it felt like that's how poor our defense was. And you just have to keep on competing and embracing, the challenge of a long game and trying to get control of it. That's ultimately what it's about.
Jeff Zilgit.
Eric, you got started off so hot.
Yeah. And then you started missing a lot. Were you happy with the threes you were getting when they weren't going down? Did you feel maybe you got away from some of your offense? Going to Bam, getting the pick and roll going.
Yeah, that's a fine line. I think what it did was us making shots. It's a natural human condition. You think it's going to be easy at that point. We're a team that has to roll up our sleeves and dig in and defend, play with toughness first and foremost. And it felt like we were just trying to win the game by making shots. We didn't impose our will at all in the first half. They didn't feel us, notice us. We were just out there defensively. It's a fine line. They're a good defensive team, so you do want to try to get some easy ones in the open court, but if you're shooting too quickly, too often, and the ball's not going, then you have to read the game and adjust accordingly, because they were able to get some easy ones from our poor floor balance. But we'll look at that and see if we can find the right balance. In the second half, I think it was better, obviously.
Naveen from Rappler in the Philippines.
Hey.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Jimmy today had about 12, 14 points, and there's been some talk that he needs to be more aggressive. But with the way he's been playing, looking for his teammates and trying to see what the defense is giving him, are you happy with how he's approaching the game, or would you want to see him be more aggressive?
First, mabuhay, salamat po.
Thank you.
Secondly, we're not going to sit up here and try to educate everybody on what winning basketball is. That was winning basketball tonight from Jimmy Butler. It's not about that final line. The same thing with Bam the other night. I don't even know what Bam ended up with from a scoring standpoint in game one, and I didn't know what he ended up with tonight. Those guys impact winning, and Jimmy did so many things in that second half that impacted winning on both ends of the court. Either the average fan sees it or they don't, but we don't care.
And our last question from Wes Lammy.
So how gratifying was it to at least see the 3-point shooting in the third quarter build the confidence that you guys needed to carry on through the game?
Well, our guys are confident, taking those looks. We have a lot of guys that feel very comfortable out there, and that's part of our game. We're also an attacking, aggressive team, so we have to find that balance of doing both. And then you're trying to do that against a very good, well-drilled defensive team. But that's competition. That's the whole point of this.
Spo, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
All right, that was Eric Spoelstra. Right after the game, we were reading all of your messages. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We have to remember or remind you guys that the Miami Heat is going to be playing on Saturday at 8:30 Eastern Time. So 8:30 is going to be the beginning of that game. We're probably going to be around, 7:45 with our pregame show here in 5 Reasons. So thank you for all your messages. I've been reading what you guys are talking about here. Thank you, and we're going to be seeing you soon. Remember, on Saturday, Game 3, 8:30, and I was reading about this, some sort of advantage that the Miami Heat would have if they advance in 4 games. We have to remember the NBA just announced they're going to be playing Game 4 on Wednesday, so they're going to try to even the 2 series out, even though if the Miami Heat ends up sweeping the Celtics, is going to be over, and that's it. So thank you for being back with us tonight. Thank you for joining us in the post-game show, and now with the post-game thoughts and press conferences from the Miami Heat. Thank you, and I'm reading all your messages, but it's really time to go, and we'll see you soon here in the 5 Reasons YouTube Sports channel. So thank you, and please subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when we're going live. We have a lot of content for you guys here in the channel. It's going to be, the podcast is going to be up in the morning. We have a couple of shows for the Miami Dolphins also, and all of that is going to be here. We're also going to post the interviews, the post conferences here in the channel tomorrow. So thank you very much again, and have a good night.